So what do y'all think about Atticus and To Kill a Mockingbird? Like, how was he standing up for what was right?
Well, when he stood up for Tom Robertson and he did all he could in his case, even though he knew that it was most likely he was going to end up guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like because he didn't have to
Do that.
like make him not guilty because they appointed him to the case. He didn't have to do it. He didn't have to try his best, but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
I feel like with the Tom Robinson case, because I mean, like, he was just, because he stood out there.
I mean, he brought up the left-handed thing.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Little things.
Yeah, because most, like, lawyers would be like, oh, he was left-handed, but he still could, like, swung his arm or something.
Yeah, like he tried his best to make sure that Tom, like, he did all that he could so Tom wouldn't go to jail for that crime that he didn't commit.
Even though he knew that at the end he was probably going to go to jail.
Yeah, they all do that.
Yeah.
But when Atticus stood up for him instead of just backing down and, not doing, just being like what a regular lawyer would do, I was like really good in his.
Yeah, he was just, like, doing what he really should be doing.
Yeah.
I felt like, especially when I knew he was sticking up for Tom Robinson, when he went out that night to stand in front of jail, and when all those people came to try to kill him, he risked his life.
All those people were definitely not standing up for what was right. They were doing the total opposite.
Yeah, they
were just doing for selfish reasons,
because they just didn't like black people back then.
Yeah, they were raised like that.
Yeah, and I realized, like, back in that day that was common and everything, but that still wasn't right. And
For Atticus. That wasn't right for Atticus.
And that's when Scout stood up for Tom Robinson and Atticus and her father and everything.
Yeah.
When all those people came out and...
Yeah, she didn't realize that they were in danger at first until at the end.
When her dad told her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's when she realized that she was in danger. She could have died, but she still did it even without thinking.
And when she stood up for Walter Cunningham in the beginning with the teacher.
Yeah, Miss Caroline.
Yeah, Miss
Scout.
Caroline.
Because she was like, oh, he won't take the quarter because he's a Cunningham, ma'am. And Miss Caroline, she didn't know. She was new, so I can't really blame her myself.
Yeah, but still, it was nice that Scout was standing up for what was right. Because she knew that Walter wasn't going to take the quarter, so she didn't want Miss Caroline to give it to him, knowing that Walter is a Cunningham and they don't take anything.
Make him feel ashamed.
And that they don't take anything and that they can't get back.
Because, like, they pay each other with, like, walnuts, or they might.
Yeah, but either way, if they get something, they're gonna give it back in return. If they don't give the same amount, they're gonna give more. So she was standing up for what was right as far as making sure that Walter was, like, stood up for. And so Miss Caroline understood where Walter was coming from instead of just assuming that
he didn't want it.
He didn't want it and he was being rude. So Scout wanted to make sure that Miss Caroline knew that he wasn't being rude.
Yeah, I felt like Jim, on the other hand, he could have done, I see him many times in the book where he could have done.
He could have stood up more than he did. Like, the one time we did see Jim stand up was for what was right was Scout and Dill at Mr. Tom Robinson's jail cell.
Yeah, because Atticus told him to go home. He said no, because I feel like he just wanted to be there for his dad because he didn't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, so he was standing up for what was right as far as, because he knew that the men wouldn't hurt them as...
Because they're children.
Yeah, they wouldn't hurt the children.
Because they have a heart not to do that. I mean,
they are pretty nasty people, but
they're human beings.
Yeah, they still know that it's like that they wouldn't hurt a child.
Yeah, like who
would hurt a child?
Yeah, I felt like for me, Jim, he's a good role model to look up at. But I felt like he could have done a lot more. He was just too scared. I felt like he was just too scared to say out and stuff.
Yeah, well, like we said, Atticus stood up. Like, this book is a great example of standing up for what is right, because Atticus, Scout, and Jim, the three main characters,
And a bunch of other people.
and many more people. Well, I think that's all.
Clues. So, hope you enjoy reading this book. So, what do y'all think about Atticus in To Kill a Mockingbird? Like, how was he standing up for what was right?
Well, when he stood up for Tom Robertson and he did all he could in his case, even though he knew that it was most likely he was going to end up guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when